Of course, it wouldn't be a Howard 916 video if Benson wasn't in it, right? So here we are with another computer video. And this time we're working on my 11-year-old build. It was a computer I purchased 11 years ago. It was one of those old Fry's CPU motherboard combos. It's a BioStar MCP6PB M2 Plus. It is an AM2 board that had some AM3 compatibility. And the processor it came with was actually an AM3 processor. It was the Athlon II X2 245, 3 GHz, dual core. For what it was back in the day, it was a decent editing system. It was perfect for editing some high def, but mostly standard def video that I was shooting back in the day. It met all my needs. And then one day it didn't, and I gave it away. And it's made it back, so we're going to work on it. This build was built inside a crappy discount computer case that came from Fry's, I'm pretty sure. Celeron processor, but that's not what's in it. I got that motherboard and processor out of there and I threw in this bad boy. I had also paired it with the ATI Radeon HD 5450, which back in the day was enough to get the job done. And before I got rid of it, I ended up pulling that out and just using the onboard NVIDIA GeForce 6150 with shared 512 megabytes of RAM. That won't do for this rebuild though, because it is not compatible with Windows 10. But you know what is compatible with Windows 10? This NVIDIA GeForce GT 640 with 4 gigs of DDR4 RAM. Now when I first purchased this machine, I bought it with a 3 gigabyte kit of RAM. Can you believe that? They used to sell 3 gigabyte kits. That's because maybe you were building a 32-bit system and the max you could hit was 3 gigs of RAM. So why would you need any more? So that's what I bought. Now 3 gigs of RAM minus the half gig that was dedicated to video equals 2.5 gigs of RAM available to the system. Now for Windows 7 that's fine, but we're building a Windows 10 system, so we need at least 4. Now I went looking and I found out from Crucial that this system can support 8 gigs. I was curious. I tried it out, and lo and behold, 8 gigabytes of RAM. That's awesome. So for the last bit of hardware I want to install on this machine, besides the power supply, which needs to be upgraded definitely, is the Blowinator 4500, a stock Phenom CPU heatsink paired with a 4500 RPM fan. The Blowinator 4500. 4500 RPMs worth of blowinating fan power. Another one of the reasons I had gotten rid of the build was because I needed a quad core, and not just any quad core. I had found one on sale, the Phenom X4 945. And I still have that processor. And does it work in this build? No, because it exceeds the board's TDP count of 95 watts. The 125 watt quad core wouldn't go in, so we're going to scale it back to the Phenom II X4 810. But before we do that, I think it's good to get a baseline of what the Athlon can handle as far as modern titles goes. Oh crap, it's Fortnite. So I'm going to install Steam and Epic and install a few games just to get a baseline of what frames per second I can get on this machine. Now this video card is incompatible with overlays like frames per second. It's also going to make it difficult for me to capture. I normally capture using the GeForce Experience app, but I think this time around I'm going to have to use the Windows Game Bar. Yay. Also, to capture frames per second times, I'm going to go ahead and either use Steam's onboard or I'm going to go with my old school favorite, Fraps. Now, one of the ways I partially shot myself in the foot with this project is that I started the installation of all the games on the Athlon. And where that messes me up is that it is slowing up every time I install a new game on this system. It eats up all of my CPU. That is going to cause a serious bottleneck. You see my disk isn't barely writing. It's a problem, and it's going to probably cause me to not be able to start the test until tomorrow. Oh look, it's tomorrow. So after a few tries and a full system restart, I finally got this game to load up. That's great. So what you're hearing is as bad as it is. It is stuttering, and then the audio just stops right there. This is not an issue with Windows Game Bar. It literally is stuttering that bad. It is horrendous. And then we get this. 0 controls, 0 audio. It is... I don't know what this is. It's horrendous, that's what it is. It goes on like this for a little bit, and then slowly but surely controls come in. Some textures start to load. Oh, there we go. Now we're getting our promos coming in. We're getting... Oh yeah, this is atrocious menu navigation. I can't get anything to work. Click. And then finally I do. I finally get a way around. I load it up, and then it crashes. Okay, let's try the next one. This one actually caught me off guard. It gave surprisingly well performance for a game that had such robust requirements. It said it required either a Ryzen or an i5, but it ran just fine on this old budget card and this really old processor. It ran incredibly well. 0 stuttering. You can see that it's hovering around 55 frames a second. It's good. No complaints. Now Portal 2 is actually a little bit newer than this processor is, so normally it does run just fine. I went to view this video back and I seen that it stuttered a lot, probably because it was competing with Windows Bar for drive write bandwidth. So I went ahead and tried a couple things, and it turned out I turned off the frame rate counter and it fixed the problem. Now audio is still a little bit stuttery in this recording, but honestly I did not see or feel that when I was playing it. And like I said, I'm not surprised because this game came out when this processor was still relevant, so yeah, ran fine. Minus, a few things like you can see the draw distance is low, the shaders isn't giving that nice blue hue to a lot of stuff in the background there. So it looks like a very basic background back there. Nothing beautiful. And, well, actually take that back right there. It looks okay. But you'll see later what I mean. Hovers around 60 frames a second, completely normal, full high def, super happy. Now, this is not in the recording. This is actually what was recorded, the gameplay that was recorded. It is atrocious and unplayable. This hovers as low as 1 frame per 5 seconds. It is bad. Bad, bad, bad. This also really isn't saying much for Steam's frames per second counter either. It's kind of disappointing if you really think about it. This is the last title for the Athlon, and it will not play because GTA 5 loves it, a 4-core processor. This is a 2-core, 2-thread, 2-logical processor. And yeah, so end of the line for Athlon. That was a good run. Time to upgrade. And there we go, posts and boots. That's good in my book. I'm going to go ahead and let it do a burn-in and let it get up to temperature, let it stay at the temperature at least 8 hours so that way everything kind of settles in, and then it's time to run some more games. Alright, we're booting up Fortnite again. Lovely black screen. Oh, there we go. Alright, this is promising. 60 frames a second in the menu. That can't be too bad, right? Alright, now it's running. Let's go ahead and run the Windows bar capture. Let's see what... Oh, alright, let's see what happens. Alright, we have capture. Alright, we're going to go from there. Now we get to wait. And wait. Okay. That's definitely a lot better. Okay, we're loading right into textures. Alright, let's change to solo mode and let's go in. Let's see how long and what happens. Still promising. Alright, textures are kind of taking its time to load, but oh, well, we get some stuttering. Oh, bad stuttering. So, it looks like we're hovering around, honestly, 25 frames a second. I know we're putting up numbers there, but it's about 25. Alright, this should be fun. I'm playing Fortnite on a really old system. This is pretty cool. Alright, jump any second here. Texture problems. Oof. 4, 5, 6. Oh my god, that was a 6 second Gotta love these stuttering rates. Alright, now here's something I noticed. I'm driving along and I'm still getting graphics textures loading. Oh, big stutter while that loads, and oof. This is a big oof for me, dog. So, Fortnite's still kind of a no. Oh well. Untitled Goose Game hovered around 60 frames, but honestly, this is not one of those games where frames per second is really going to matter in the first place. So, yeah, a little bit more solid performance, but honestly, I didn't notice much of a difference. Honestly, I don't notice much of a difference when I play on my big system, except for the resolution. Alright, Portal 2, and it runs perfect. I had to disable the frames per second again because it did the same thing in the recording. But yeah, no, it's hovering around 60 frames a second with the new processor. No real stuttering either. You hear that sound? Isn't that great?
Military androids have been taught to read and provided with one copy of the laws of robotics to share.
And this is where you really see the difference. Of course, you can see that it's kind of hovering between 50-60 frames there, so we'll call it about 54 frames a second. But super smooth, completely playable, mild audio sync issues, but doesn't ruin the experience for me a whole lot. Now this is where it excels. It actually plays the game. The processor is compatible. It runs well, except for this frigged up aspect ratio here. This is what we call a postage stamp, but then it goes back to normal. But what the F? Yep. Completely playable. Graphics are good, running at 720p and medium, so hey, I'll take it. And there it is, my 11-year-old editing machine. I was actually surprised it was able to run a lot. Everything except for Fortnite, it just crashed. And I'm pretty sure that really is just the motherboard is bottlenecking because of that PC2 and whatever the front side bus is running. Maybe there is a way to get this Athlon II X2 245 to run Fortnite at a decent speed. Maybe I need to run it on a board that runs PC3 memory and a little bit more muscle. Maybe I can overclock it too. Maybe I can get 4 gigahertz. I don't know. It'd be worth a try to see, right? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.